Welcome to Electrified. It's your host, Dylan Loomis. Quick shout out to my newest patrons, Carlin W, Philip M, and Matthew B. Thank you for choosing to support the channel. Yesterday, I had a very enjoyable chat, mostly about Tesla, but we did talk about a few other things as well. So this will be linked at the outro of today's video, and it will be below as well. What a week for Tesla the company, Tesla the stock. So far, as I'm recording, Tesla stock up another 10% today. So what's going on? Well, this right here definitely does not hurt. This is the personal consumption expenditures index, which, as you can see, is now negative 0.2 month over month, which came in lower than the consensus, which was at 0.1. This just signals that consumers are now slowing down their spending broadly, which should give the Fed more confidence to slow down the interest rate hike pace. For Tesla, here are the top 5 best performing months since the stock IPO back in 2010. This number currently for January 2023 is now around 46%, so another 3 to 4% over the next few days, and we'll have a top 5 month all time for Tesla stock. Not only that, but in just the last 20 days, Tesla stock is up over 76% from the local low. And honestly, it's not just Tesla today. If you look at the sustainable energy watch list, it's green across the board. Lucid up 45%. We'll talk about that shortly. Rivian also currently up over 10%. So you know how most people say what goes up must come down? Well, with Tesla stock, it's the opposite. What goes down must come up. There's a lot of chatter about one line on Tesla's statement of cash flows. I just want to touch on real quick. It's purchases of investments, and we'll track it with this red line as I move across. So you can see Tesla spent $4.4 billion on buying some investments in Q4. We won't be able to know what this was for sure until we get the 10K. There should be a line on there for marketable securities that should give us more information. Now, there is a good chance this was indeed a bond purchase. Elon flat out said on the call how good the rates are in the fixed income space, especially when you look at it relative to the S&P and expected returns. And from that standpoint, it's not rocket science why so much capital has taken a more risk-off approach as of late, meaning back in 2022. Since Tesla has $22 billion in cash, no debt, they can take $5 billion, buy some fixed income bonds, say they lock in 5%, that will be an additional $250 million per year just from this fixed income investment. And I'm pretty confident this has nothing to do with Bitcoin, because if it did, it would be the line above having to do with digital assets. There's still confusion around this new Tesla semi-factory. I think a decent amount of people still think it's a brand new factory in a separate location. It's not, at least according to this video, direct from Tesla's YouTube channel. You can see in the purple is the current footprint of Giga Nevada, and these green and blue portions are this new expansion, that $3.5 billion investment for the Tesla semi-factory and more 4680 production. So this is really just an expansion of Giga Nevada, call it phase 2, and Elon did say there would be a phase 3 and a phase 4 as well. All right, so it's Friday, let's have some fun. Here are the best-selling EVs of 2022 in the United States. So what is your guess for what will be the best-selling non-Tesla EV model in 2023? I'm going to put this video on my calendar and come back to it on the last day of this year, and we'll see who guessed, if anybody, correctly. So let me know below your guess for the best-selling non-Tesla EV in the United States in 2023. This one's pretty interesting. Reuters is saying LG is in talks with Tesla to supply batteries from their Arizona factory. However, this entire Arizona factory has been in jeopardy since the summer of 2022. Literally, this is the entire article on the screen. They just said LG is in active discussions with Tesla about battery supply from this proposed factory. Now, Tesla and LG are already working together in the Chinese market. Tesla has been getting nickel, cobalt, manganese cells from them. However, there were reports last year that LG was going to start supplying LFP batteries to Tesla in China, presumably for the Model 3 standard range vehicle. That would be in addition to supply coming from CATL when we're talking LFP packs. And back in 2020, LG came through for Tesla in a big way, essentially doubling their production capacity for Tesla. This supposed LG factory in Arizona is supposed to be in Queen Creek, which is near Phoenix. However, last summer it was reported that this factory was now in jeopardy due to rising costs, saying that the 11 gigawatt hours of capacity they were supposed to have at this factory is now being reconsidered as construction costs have increased amid concerns over weakening battery demand. probably weakening demand from legacy OEMs as a lot of their EV plans are all over the map right now, but Tesla is charging ahead with really no hesitation. And the most recent thing I could find on this factory was from the Daily Independent, and it was January 5th of this year, saying the proposed plant is still on hold. So this could be Tesla resurrecting this factory saying, hey, if legacy OEMs aren't going to demand the batteries, we'll take some if you still want to set up shop. Knowing that, paired with the fact that LG was already going to supply LFP cells to Tesla in China, maybe they could do something similar at this factory because it was supposed to produce cylindrical cells, which could absolutely be going into the Megapack. Tesla has been adjusting some of the lease cost and leasing rates around the world, and Matthias said the CEO of Denmark's largest leasing company, Nordania, told reporters they've signed as many Tesla company vehicle deals in the last week as they did in all of 2022 after Tesla's price cuts. So is the Model 3 now a great leasing deal at $399 a month? Well, of course it's all subjective, so we won't get into it, and there's much more that goes into it, the down payment and all of that. However, this is just another lever that Tesla has basically been waiting to pull. And with this one, no, your eyes do not deceive you, but apparently today Elon Musk met with some top Biden officials to talk about ramping up EV production and adoption here in the US. Elon met with John Podesta, who's the senior advisor for clean energy innovation, and Mitch Landrieu, who oversees infrastructure spending. Sadly, all we know right now is they talked about their shared goals around electrification, which is positive, but apparently they only met for about a half an hour, according to a Reuters witness. With that said though, in response to Sawyer sharing this article, Elon said, "True. I know Elon's a busy man, but a half an hour seems like a fairly brief conversation. You can interpret that however you want." However, I'd be pretty confident in saying this meeting had a lot to do with the Inflation Reduction Act. We know they're going through a public comment period. They're getting a lot of pushback globally, so they probably wanted to ask the leader of this electrification movement how he sees the game and what he thinks the US should do given all of the flack they're getting. And again, you can call me an Elon fanboy, but for me, there's nobody I would rather have leading those type of discussions who I would trust to do the right thing for the future of humanity and electrification. The accountant on Twitter pointed this out, so in case you missed it, wanted to pass it along. Talking about this delivery wave, in Q2 of 2022, the third month of the quarter, accounted for 74% of Tesla's vehicle deliveries. That number fell to 64% in Q3 and to 51% in Q4, so this unwinding of the wave is indeed taking place. Why are they focusing on smoothing out the deliveries evenly across the quarter? Because it will help reduce the cost per vehicle. Elon's mother got a tour of Giga Berlin and shared some footage of the GigaCast, and who doesn't love getting to see inside one of Tesla's factories? New footage is always fun, so let's just sit here for a few seconds and enjoy. And another quick one, just showing us some of the updated graffiti on the exterior of Giga Berlin. Once again, just a little differentiator. I mean, not many companies are taking the time to do this, and it's just fun to see. That one in particular is pretty awesome. In case you've been wondering this whole time, Dylan, why in the world is Lucid up 45% today? Well, here it is. Rumors have been circulating that the Saudi Public Investment Fund is going to buy out Lucid completely. For now, given that all we really have are these headlines from Benzinga and Seeking Alpha about rumors, I'm gonna tread very cautiously, and even further, this could mean many different things. So before jumping to conclusions or speculating wildly, we'll just wait until next week and see if we learn more. From Drive Tesla Canada, this is not officially official. This is coming from a Norwegian cruise line forum, apparently. However, if it's true, NCL has signed an agreement to provide Starlink internet on its cruise ships, which would now bring the total number of cruise lines to 6 that is offering Starlink internet. All right, so there's a lot of chatter today about Mercedes' Level 3 automated driving system being the first one approved in the United States to be used in Nevada that is SAE Level 3. Now, I'll just say personally, I think these are all malarkey, and I can save that rant for a future video, but the way they have it, Level 3 is at the point when you are not responsible, the responsibility would then shift to the vehicle. But of course, when the technology hits its limits, you're of course expected to take over. And to everybody out there saying Mercedes has Level 3 and Tesla only has Level 2, anybody that says that, it's a prime example of one of those tell me you don't know what you're talking about without really telling me type of things. It's honestly better for Tesla to stay at level 2 to gather all of its data and do its training to keep the onus and responsibility on the actual driver. Tesla going to get this level 3 certification really wouldn't do anything to help its FSD pursuit. It may give Tesla a bit more leeway with driver attention or nag scenarios, but even that would just be speculation. And I'm sharing this because there are plenty of headlines out there already. For 2024, the Mercedes-Benz EQS and S-Class will be the first US models to have level 3 autonomous driving called Drive Pilot. And yes, this tech was already launched last year in Germany. Remember, this is not at all generalized autonomy like Tesla is pursuing. This is more map and region based. Right now, Nevada is the only state where Drive Pilot has received regulatory approval, and they're working on earning approval in California, hoping for sometime this year. And I would just add, these vehicles are not yet even being delivered. They're supposed to be delivered later this year. I'm sure some of you saw these headlines earlier this week, but I just can't stand to waste your time. And look, I'm not at all arguing that Tesla's ADAS system is perfect, but these type of articles are just so misleading. I would also add that Drive Pilot is currently only authorized to operate at speeds up to 40 miles per hour, again in one state. And this is just one anecdote, but let's have a look at Drive Pilot in action.
Than that, because of course then...
Okay, now
you have to take over.
Why is that?
Probably because the sun is blinding so much. Okay.
Drive Pilot off, system currently unavailable.
Yeah, and now
so
we
we've
turned
run
a little.
into a technical limitation, so I've turned a little bit.
No, we have turned a little bit, and now you can turn it on again.
There we go.
There it is.
Activating Drive Pilot.
Yep.
Could not be activated.
Because he's too...
So let me catch up.
Close up a little bit because we need that lead vehicle.
So how much distance do we need between the lead vehicle?
It's about 100 meters.
Okay, so now activating Drive Pilot, and now it's...
And of course, this is a very specific situation. You would not encounter that on a real highway.
Yeah.
The sloped curve.
So it sounds like additionally you need a lead car in front of you, and if the sun's out, well, that may make things unusable. And as James highlighted in the comments about the other comment that you wouldn't go over a curved bank like that on the real highway, well, this picture would say otherwise. And please do not misunderstand my tone. I'm not just trying to write off all of legacy OEM to make Tesla look better, but when I see the narratives get way out of control, I just feel obligated to try to right the ship. And I just get a little fired up thinking how much of the public is currently being misled by these articles and headlines. And now they'd probably ask me, hey Dylan, did you hear that Tesla is losing its lead in FSD because Mercedes is now level 3 SAE? The lovely Alexandra Mers, Tesla Boomer Mama, has done an excellent write-up on Tesla's board of directors, getting into who they are and their backgrounds. It was honestly very well done and great research. So I will, of course, put the link below, and if you haven't read it yet, I would encourage you to when you have the time. Alexandra, thank you. From automotive news, Ford is working with its dealer council on changes to its EV certification program in response to about 1/3 of the dealers giving them pushback. So what Ford is looking to do is narrow the differences between the two different tiers that it's laid out, one of which would limit EV sales in exchange for that dealer then having a reduced investment in charging equipment. They're also talking about dialing back requirements like having some of the Ford dealers offer charging to the public 24/7 and some other things to do with marketing and which dealerships will get which EVs. You may recall we talked about Toyota is now considering a dedicated EV platform to compete with Tesla and the like, but this new platform wouldn't be until 2027 or 2028, and get this, they said when Toyota believes consumer demand for EVs will be sufficient to warrant the investment. And don't forget, if you're interested, check out my chat with Randy. He's a great guy, loves Tesla and Elon and all of the stuff that we are into, and I did really enjoy talking to him. So again, this will be linked below and on the outro card. Hope you guys have a wonderful and a safe weekend. Please like the video if you did, and a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters.